But also the mayor that just spent all that money to put Black Lives Matter on the street is also in his next bill or her next, I don't know who the mayor is, but in their next round of whatever, they're doing their budgets. Of course, they've increased the police spending budget. So like people are like, hey, nice little gesture there, but we're trying to defund the police over here. So fuck you.
Yeah. It's like nice little play. And dude, that's the thing about that's why I could never be a politician is they are manipulators and liars. Like they are, let me phrase that. They maybe not be liars, but they are truth withholders. They withhold the truth. And to me, I consider the intentional withholding of information the exact same way. It's like, it's called lying by omission. It's like, I will not directly, lie to you, but I will intentionally but when your opposing side is playing dirty, the only way you can win is to also play dirty. I know, but that's what I'm saying is like, that's why I could never be in any type of political anything. That's why I don't think I could even be like a CEO of a company. Like obviously I'm an owner of Wilson Walking. Like we are all a part of this, there's, like, but I mean like a big company. Like I don't want to be in a large like Fortune 500. I don't want to be any type of politicking, schmoozing, shaking hands, kissing babies, manipulating this, manipulating that. I don't know. I just don't. It goes against everything I believe in. It's like, you
don't want to kiss babies, bro?
No, dude, no kissing babies. I'm not Epstein, okay? I'm not trying to kiss babies over here. Oh, by the way, Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay.
No, he did not.
And that's also kind of terrifying to think about. It's like he was the fixer, but he got into a position where he was about to, narc on everyone. And it's like, he definitely isn't the only one. Just because one faucet got turned off doesn't mean all the water isn't still flowing.
Well, here's the interesting thing. I was going to kind of like talk about this earlier, but when we were talking about Candace Owens, but I am very curious about the idea of like a quote unquote deep state, like of who is the puppet master pulling the strings? Who are these guys? Like, oh, this happened. Like, who's mysteriously? Really the person this person died. Oh, what happened though? Oh, mysteriously, all the security cameras turned off. Oh, like El Chapo escaped. Oh, the security cameras were turned off. What happened? And it's like there's always, I think we all want to believe there's like some mysterious Soros guy, globalists guy that's like pulling all the strings.
Some magic
blah, blah,
puppet
blah.
master.
I mean, some like
a
Alex
bunch of guys
Jones type
sitting in a room, sitting cigars, smoking. We got 'em, boys.
Do I believe that there is a group of people like that? Probably. Like I wouldn't put it past reality for something like that to happen. I mean, we've seen all kinds of crazy stuff going on this year.
We've seen insane things.
I would not put it past a group of very powerful people to get together and figure out how to run the world. I don't think that that's out of the question. But the thing that's funny is when people try to like always make that the explanation. My friend Keaton, he shared a video with me yesterday about this guy that was like explaining this whole situation. Like, so you've got Soros and Killary Clinton and this person.
Did you say Killary Clinton?
No, maybe that was a Freudian slip. Yeah, you've got Hillary Clinton, but she's also Killary Clinton. And then you've got Black Lives Matter. And then you've got all the news organizations. And actually all of them are working together in cahoots, blah, 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 blah. And I was kind of saying like, yes, I don't disagree with a lot of what this guy's saying, but the thing about Black Lives Matter is
Occam's razor real fast.
Yeah, it's like the thing about you can go, why is all this happening? Let's follow the money. Why is all this happening? Why is there a bigger illusion? Why is Black Lives Matter taking off? Why is all this? And it's like, let's follow the money. Oh, it's gotta be this. And I go, and he goes, I respectfully want to hear your opinion on this video because my friend sent it to me, and we had gotten into a back and forth earlier in the week. And what I said was, while I don't 100% disagree with what this guy's saying, I do think it's like, hey, let's back up and follow the money. Actually, let's back up and look at history. Because the reason why all this is happening is not because of like all these puppet masters currently. It's because you've got a group of people that for 450 years were oppressed by legally oppressed, like literally by the entire government. No reparations were made, built on land that was stolen from Native Americans that were also oppressed and brutalized and all that. And it's like, hey, no wonder the pot is boiling over at this point, because all of this has been boiling for 450, 500, 600 years. Like it's silly to think like, oh, it's because Antifa and these guys are like pulling on. No. Do I think they're part of it? Of course. But like the reason why all this is happening is because there has been major injustices and major things that have not been addressed. It's kind of like when you sweep everything under the rug, over time, the rug is going to be so piled high from all the stuff you swept under it. Like you can't just sweep all this stuff under the rug and just like expect people to forget about it.
Yeah, I believe strongly in Occam's razor, which states that the simplest explanation is usually the right explanation. And that being said, you can look into things like Karl Khashoggi, and if anyone knows anything about Karl Khashoggi, he was a journalist at the Washington Post. He was a Syrian passport holder who made it to the U.S. and was very critical of Saudi Arabia and was very critical of Islam. And the Saudi Arabian government was like, hey, in order to, we got to renew your passport and you have to do it in person. You've been gone for 10 years, whatever. So he shows up, his girl's in the car, he shows up and then vanishes, gone. And people were like, what happened? And basically the investigation turned out that 10 hitmen from a different country flew in to the embassy. He was going to meet people in Saudi Arabia. So the Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey, I think it was, flew in and tortured him, cut him up into pieces in a bone saw, put his body parts in briefcases, jumped back on the plane that they were on and flew away with his body and disposed of it somewhere else. And by the time the police got there, the entire place had been doused in bleach. Like the entire place like reeked of chemicals. Like it had been completely swept, wiped clean top to bottom. Security cameras didn't work. Cell phones were gone. Like straight up some Breaking Bad shit. Like gnarly wicked. And it's like, oh, there's powerful people that can make other people disappear very quickly. And I think in other countries, maybe they're a bit more bold. Maybe they're a bit more audacious. Maybe they're a bit more powerful. They know that like, dude, I'm the Saudi Arabian prince. Like, I can kill whoever I want, and I'll chop him up into bits. He's been critical
money
of what
can
we're
make anything happen.
And I think
people will do anything for money.
In the United States, in America, I think it's done more sneakily. Like, for example, and there's a whole conspiracy theory based on this, like Princess Diana crashing her car, or JFK getting shot in the head, or Epstein dying in prison by accident, by suicide. There's just way,
or even anything that we're talking about with like people of color, like, oh, a cop killed a black guy, let's just cover it up because people know cops kill black guys all the time. It's not that big of a deal. Let's just sweep it under the rug and write a false report about how he was like resisting arrest and that we found drugs on him or something and he had a weapon.
Just like Dave Chappelle goes,
sprinkle some crack on him. Sprinkle some crack on him.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Literally.
Yeah, and I guess I'm saying all that to say is like powerful people with powerful connections and an unlimited bank account can literally accomplish anything they want, and that includes murdering. Like, for sure. And I am very close with someone who is very close to the Clinton administration. And
I'm very close to a person who's very close to a person who's very close to Clinton.
Yeah. They work together, and that's literally all I'm going to say. But I asked him, I was like, hey, man, do you think it's possible that, like, they could get rid of some bodies? And he goes, honestly, he's like, I know them pretty well. I don't think they would or would be capable of stuff like that. He goes, however, if they wanted to, probably. He goes, you'd be shocked at the amount of things that actually happen.
Well, there's also I think it's probably not Hillary going, hey, kill this guy. It's probably her having some sort of fixer guy that's just like her problem solver guy. It's like, hey, there's a problem going on. Can you fix it? Almost kind of like in Breaking Bad, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, Mike is like the dirty word.
She's got a Mike.
And she's probably just got a Mike who's just like always watching her back and like, oh, this guy's got some shit. Let's off him real quick. And then she doesn't need to know. She doesn't even need to know. I don't even need to tell her that it happened. I'll just say everything's good in the world. It's kind of like, I mean, shit, dude.
There's like a nod.
This is another reason why police are so, angry about what's happening too, because they know some shit. Dude, I have a friend who's a NYPD police officer and he works in the anti-terrorism division. And literally,
they know some shit.
Oh, they know some shit. And he's like, dude, there's been some close calls where like the public does not know, but there have been some close calls where we almost had to do some shit. Like there's been some really close calls over the years, and it's like the job of the military is to protect us and all that, but also it's to like maintain the peace and like make sure that those things don't affect the daily lives of Americans. Because you can see even something as simple as the pandemic or these protests, it uproots society. Like things stop, the gears of society, there's this thin veil on top of society that everything is all hunky-dory, but it takes just a couple of people peeling back.
It takes one cog to break.
And Trevor Noah talked about like this societal contract that we have, and it's like as soon as people feel like that contract is no longer benefiting them, why should they abide by the rules of society? Like there's no reason for them. That's why people were looting and rioting. It's like there's no benefit to this. That's not how society works. Society hasn't been working for these people anyways. Why should they not loot? Why should they not? Like, because doing it or not doing it, they're still sitting in this terrible broken system. So anyways, I think going back to a point that I was trying to make a while ago that I keep getting away from, but it's like, when you look, like Candace Owens made this video talking about the stats, and she's like, if you look at the stats,
is that really popular video, that 9 million view video that she's?
I think it's more now. But she at the beginning she discredits George Floyd and tries to say, why do black people always make the lowest common denominator people the martyrs? Why are we trying to why do we exalt criminals as these people that we're trying to free? Why do we blah 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 blah? Parts of it I can get behind. It's like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be making all these people a martyr, but the problem is,
but police aren't killing regular people.
And the thing that she said, is, did you say regular people? The thing that she said,
that was the wrong choice of words.
That's like saying like able-bodied people are normal or something. But anyways, Candace,
don't clip me, people. I'm sorry.
We know what you meant. Candace lays out this argument of saying, well, if you look at statistics, you are just as likely as a white man to be brutalized by the police.
That's not right, though. The numbers are off.
But if you adjust for like the percentage of the population and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, that's fine if you're gonna quote those statistics, whatever. Maybe I haven't looked deep into it enough to know whether that's right or wrong or not. Here's the thing though. We already know that the police do not properly report police brutality. We saw the old man get pushed down just a couple days ago. An old white man was trying to return a helmet to the police, and they shoved him to the ground.
Cracked his head.
He was bleeding from his ear.
Concussion.
And the police report said a bystander tripped and fell. That is how they reported that man getting injured by the police.
When there's videos of him clearly being
So when
pushed.
they know they're being filmed, they will still misreport. They will still not admit fault. And that's the problem, like we were saying, with the internal police investigations and writing your own, things that go wrong. If you're brutalizing someone and you know it's not right and you step back and you're like, dude, that was fucked up. Are you gonna write that down? No. You're going to say he was resisting arrest. I had to use necessary force. He had a weapon, blah, blah, blah. Sprinkle some crack on him and call it a day. Literally. And so that's why those statistics, when you go, well, guys, why are we making this a race issue? This is not a race issue. It's a police brutality issue. And the thing is, the bottom line, you're just as likely to get brutalized by the police as a white man as you are as a black man. And that's simply, even if you want to make that argument, I can get behind it because it's like, yeah, I agree.
That means, white people join the fight.
Exactly. Like, police brutality is fucked up. And if you look at other countries, they don't have nearly the amount of murders. So let's all get behind it and abolish the police and figure out a new system. And I'm not saying abolish law enforcement or public safety. I'm saying abolish the police as we know it.
Yeah, that term was like a really poorly chosen word. Whoever decided to say...
Or even defund. But people are saying reform, and we've been trying to reform, and the thing is we need to burn the system to the ground and find a new one. It's not going to happen overnight, but slowly and slowly and slowly, we need to take funds from police and put them back into other things.
Yeah.
Because we know that, why are the police so needed in low-income areas? Oh, maybe because their schools are bad, their education is bad.
Drug addiction problems, mental health issues.
All these different things. Yeah. If we pump that money back into these communities by investing in better schools, investing in all kinds of different things, we can fix these problems rather than using police as a tax collector to, literally by the systematic jailing and all we need prison reform. We need all these things. Anyways, but the point I'm making is if Candace Owens wants to pull from these stats of saying, well, if you look at the stats of police brutality, you can't look at stats of police brutality because we know the police do not report properly.
Yeah.
Who else is going to... We're looking at the police they're not going to tell on themselves. We know this. We know that they don't even do it when there's white people. We saw that last week with the white dude that got pushed down.
They even turn off body cams for everybody.
We saw it today with Breonna Taylor's investigation. It said her injuries were none. Like, we know the police are corrupt as fuck, so why would we use that as evidence? And people go, well, if you're just going to say you can't look at any stats, then why do we look at any stats regarding anything else? It's like... I get it, but Candace Owens is also an avid climate change denier. You look at this, she denies scientific consensus. Like, she cannot be trusted with anything. She's an idiot. Like, and people like worship the ground she stands on because she finally a smart, articulate black woman who's really saying what we're all thinking. No, she's just siding with fucking racists and using the stats to prove points that further her agenda. Like, and it just makes me upset, but that's my take on that.
AJ, you were trying to say something?
Have y'all ever seen Making a Murderer?
Mm-mm.
Dude, so...
Oh, yeah, that's the guy, yeah.
Basically, what happened was this guy got framed for murder by the police. Mm-hmm. And there was one part in the TV show where they found blood in the car where he supposedly killed her. And they tested the blood, and it was like someone else's blood or something like that.
They just found
and
blood.
They'll
And
just
that happened like not too long ago.
Yeah, and the thing is
and
like...
that was a white guy,
There's
too.
no incentive for them to find the truth. The incentive is to get the public's eye to stop being on them and to get everyone to shut up.
Well, I was going to say, like, that's the whole thing. The truth is not the incentive. The incentive is to prove their innocence, even if that is not true. And that's where I go back to this whole, like, internal investigation / police investigations are useless, worthless, dumb pieces of shit. And if anybody falls for that trick, you're an idiot too. The second you stop fighting for something because someone goes, we're opening up an investigation. Like, I can't tell you how many...
But that's not happening with the protests right now, bro.
How many gigantic corporations, how many police forces, how many times in your lifetime, I think about my life, I'm not that old, I'm 31. Dude, like, even like when there's like crazy government corruptions or like this problem or like that problem, it's like investigations in that context, internal, like they don't mean anything because the person / people / entity that is conducting the actual investigation is focusing on their best interests only. So they will manipulate that data as much as they possibly can.
It's like when you get into a car accident. Let's say I have State Farm and you have State Farm. We get into a car accident together. The insurance company is in their best interest to give us the least amount of money and save them the most.
Yeah, the insurance makes the most and pays the least. That is their job.
And in a normal thing that would happen, let's say you have like Geico or something, and I crash into you. Geico's gonna fight to get the most money from State Farm. But when it's like both of us have the same insurance company, they'll say that they're like, well, it's different people in different parts of the company, and they're gonna, we're still gonna fight for you the same way as if we were fighting against another company.
Nope.
Sure, I'll believe it when I fucking see it. Because you can say all you want. You can say all you want on one side, but actions speak louder than words, 100%. And that's the funny thing about a lot of these politicians.
Yeah, don't
it's
get
like
duped.
You get a lot of lip service. You get a lot of police like kneeling. We stand in solidarity with you. And then 2 hours later, you see them tear gassing their fucking citizens.
Like, I appreciate the sentiment when the cops are kneeling, but we
don't need thoughts and prayers anymore, motherfucker.
It's like, shut the fuck up. Go away. Like, just... Ugh. Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you'd like to see the full episode, click right here. If you'd like to subscribe, click here. If you'd like more clips, we got 2 more right over here.